Инициатива «Перекресток мира» очень важна.
The Crossroads of Peace initiative is very important. It is such an important strategic and structural shift over the last 30 years in the region when transport connectivity was virtually cut off. And this initiative precisely assumes the development of transport connectivity, securing the shortest routes for cargo traveling from Armenia to Armenia or in transit through Armenia. In many respects, of course, the prospect of implementing this initiative depends on political agreements. We believe that in the short term, there will be some kind of negotiation process, while full implementation is possible only in the medium or long term. In the event of a full opening of transport communications, cargo flows will increase. The potential for the growth of cargo flows represents the growth of the economy of the Republic of Armenia, the growth of export-import operations, as well as the growth of transit that could potentially pass through the territory of the Republic of Armenia. Here too, everything will depend on which specific directions open up and which cargo flows will prevail, export-import or transit. But overall, a fairly rough estimate of cargo flows shows that from 500,000 to 1.5 million tons in the long term, that is 2035 to 2040, can be achieved in the case of full implementation of this initiative. The Eurasian Development Bank is implementing a project called the Eurasian Transport Framework. As part of this project, we prepared a tool named the Observatory of Transport Projects. Despite such a grand-sounding name, this project represents a database of projects for the development of transport corridors across the Eurasian space, including Central Asia and the South Caucasus. Currently, the Observatory of the Eurasian Transport Framework contains more than 300 projects across 13 states. A significant portion of these projects is being implemented in the directions of east-west and north-south transport connectivity. In the Republic of Armenia, projects totaling $4.7 billion are currently being implemented or planned for implementation. The prospect for implementing these projects is the year 2035. This means that some projects are planned, but their implementation has not yet begun. They are in the planning stage. If we speak about east-west transport connectivity, the key corridor passing through the countries of the South Caucasus and Central Asia is the so-called Trans-Caspian International Transport Route, or the Middle Corridor, which is an integral element of the Traseka Corridor network. The importance of this corridor is growing as cargo flows between China, the countries of Central Asia, and Europe increase. This is one of the routes providing transport connectivity, and we evaluate its growth potential very highly. Consequently, all countries in the region can benefit from participating in the implementation of this initiative. Another important corridor passing through the countries of the region and providing transport connectivity is the North-South Corridor. It is mistakenly assumed that the North-South Corridor passes through Azerbaijan. In fact, the North-South Corridor has several routes at once. One of them, the Eastern Route, passes along the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. Another route, a road route, connects Russia, Georgia, the Republic of Armenia, and the Islamic Republic of Iran in the western part. We also highly evaluate the potential of this corridor. Cargo flows along it have grown in recent years, and as recent assessments show, even the war currently ongoing in Iran will not shake the development potential of this corridor. Realizing the potential of this corridor in the Republic of Armenia is largely tied to the development of road infrastructure. This involves a whole series of projects for the development of the North-South Highway currently under implementation, including those funded by international financial institutions. Returning to the Observatory of Transport Projects, we see that a significant share of the projects implemented on the territory of the Republic of Armenia consist precisely of projects for the development of the North-South Road within Armenia. The Eurasian Development Bank proceeds from the premise that the greatest benefits for transport connectivity and the economy come from the intersection of corridors, their linking. This produces additional benefits, attracting up to 40% of cargo flows to transport corridors. Currently, the situation is quite complex from a logistical standpoint. A simple example, when a truck travels from Yerevan to the city of Almaty in Kazakhstan, it is forced to cover an additional distance exceeding 2,500 kilometers. That is a detour route that makes transportation much more expensive and much longer than it could be if transport communications were open for direct and more convenient connections. In fact, the intersection of the North-South Road Corridor in the Republic of Armenia with the Middle Corridor, or the Traseka Corridor, allows delivering cargo between Armenia and Kazakhstan much faster. In that case, a truck could use ferry crossings across the Caspian Sea and proceed to Kazakhstan via a more direct route, thereby making delivery faster and logistics opportunities for trade between Armenia and Kazakhstan more favorable. Therefore, the linking of corridors, including what the Crossroads of Peace initiative assumes, is a good idea in terms of achieving better transport connectivity, reducing economic distances, and realizing the trade potential that exists among the countries of the region, primarily the Republic of Armenia. The issue of soft infrastructure is very important. You can build roads, but there won't be trucks on them until border crossing procedures and transport procedures are harmonized, and the work of customs services and other control authorities is coordinated. Also, what is very relevant now, many transport procedures need to be digitized. International road transport permits, waybills, bills of lading and maritime transport, veterinary measure certificates, and so on. Soft infrastructure significantly reduces costs for carriers and freight forwarders en route. Therefore, it is one of the essential tools for increasing transport efficiency. It should be said that the basis for harmonization lies in international agreements and conventions, particularly those of the UN, agreements on the harmonization of frontier control of goods, the TIR International Convention, and other instruments that reduce costs for carriers, and accordingly, trade. But bilateral and regional agreements between countries are also important. In particular, the measures currently being taken within the Eurasian Economic Union regarding the digitization of transport are vital. The Republic of Armenia can significantly benefit from the ongoing harmonization, including the implementation of the digital tools currently taking place.